interest rates may go up. There is a low demand for much of our exports for commodities, and it will affect Guyana. And then simultaneously, he said, and he spoke about 2015 too, he said, in the latter half of the year, we restored confidence. We did well. You know, the first half of the year, everything was bad under the PPP, and then we did well, but in spite of the global situation. And he's saying that in 2016, we're going to grow by 4-point-something%, and we do well. Where is the connection? Where is the connection? And we can't do well because the 2 new gold mines are coming on stream, because they seem to be banking a lot on that. And we can't do well because they would not start pumping oil. In fact, as he pointed out, it's an exploratory well that is going to be drilled. They continue drilling the exploratory well. So where would we see this buoyancy in? I believe that the numbers are inflated. That the numbers are inflated, and it doesn't recognize the reality of the world. So that's what I think. If we had a budget, I would have advocated, as I did last year, to run a larger fiscal deficit, because it's not going to be inflationary. If they're targeting with a 4.7% deficit, a 2% interest rate, and there is deflationary pressure right across the world. Fuel prices have come down. And then why couldn't we run a bigger deficit and pump the money into a stimulus package, a real stimulus package for our private sector, and more benefits to the sectors, that the vulnerable sectors? That is what we would have argued for. Yes.
Not have been included in budgetary allocation, but should have been analyzed periodically so that the
Okay.
populace gets better. Could you explain that?
That is what I said, is that because I heard that the measures that brought benefit to people were so sparse versus the measures that were bringing additional hardships, that they were looking around for things to say in the budget to announce as measures that would sound as though they're bringing additional benefits to people. So my argument was that fuel prices fluctuate up and down in a given year. The tradition has been that when prices fall, we would probably push up the taxes a bit, but then we would get Gael to lower the price at the pump almost immediately, so that the private companies did not get a windfall. Because one time I looked at this, and the prices had fallen by, I think, about $20. And in 2 weeks of not adjusting the price at the pump, a private company made $61 million more by simply delaying the adjustment at the price of the pump. And where did the $61 million come from? It came from ordinary people. So we often use Gael not as a state company to make money, but as a regulatory body to ensure that once the prices fall, they adjust the local price at the pump almost immediately, so that the others would follow suit, the private companies. Now, if he is saying that this is only going to be done at budget time, what happens between now and the next budget? Prices may go up or may fall further. Are we going to wait until the next budget to announce this as a measure to reduce the price at the pump? And so they should have announced this almost immediately. But they allowed the private companies as well as the state oil company to rake in large sums of money at on the back of the consumers. And that is why I'm opposed to it being a budget measure. It should be an ongoing measure. When the prices move down, we should benefit from it at the pump almost immediately. And when it moves up, the prices should go up back. That was how it was all the time.
But then we also had local government elections in just under 2 months. Given the anti-people, anti-development budget that you say this is, do you expect it to be reflected at the polls?
The people have to make up their minds in this country, because I guess the spin machine will start it. The spin machine in the Kaichor News, and that's even more pro-government than the Chronicle now, will start doing the spin and show how wonderful the budget is. But soon people will start feeling it in their pockets. You as the stevedore, you as the taxi driver, as the person that's working in the street or on Regent Street, or the vendors, or the pensioners, or those who are enjoying public assistance, or ordinary folks across this country, or those in the sugar industry, or the rice industry, or in bauxite for that matter, the ordinary people. How is your life better because of this budget? Just ask them one question, and that reality will come home soon. How is your life better because of this budget? Is it going to create more jobs for you? Would it cause your salary to increase? Are you going to be taking home more money at the end of the month? And you will get a resounding no. And that's the ultimate test. And then go and ask the people who are investing in mining and forestry and the manufacturers and the rice industry and every other sector. What did the budget, are you excited? Has this budget given you more? And their answer will be no to. So that's the litmus test. It's not what Jack Deo says. It's not about local government elections. It's about those people out there. Ordinary people, the business community, and others who are looking for this anticipated stimulus package that we've heard so much about, and where is it? It's not stimulus. They're all the billions that they're spending in infrastructure. It's coming from a lot of old projects, the billions of dollars. Imagine it was so the last budget, I can't even find the words to describe it, so dishonest, that the last budget, the specialty hospital was a criminal venture again, that they shouldn't go ahead with. And this government has now announced $1.9 billion of this budget will be for the specialty hospital. Isn't that criminal? And then the way it's being done too. It's the way it was done. It's, the whole issue that we have about how it's done. So that is criminal. Yeah.
Sir, do you anticipate public transportation and taxi costs to go up in wake of the...
If you have to buy new tires, if you can't get a new vehicle that's more than 8 years old, you have to buy a new one. The cost of acquisition will be high. I want to see how many ordinary Guyanese can afford the new vehicles now. Then what do you expect? It will go up. It has to go up. It's a normal thing. It will go up. The transportation costs will go up. And this, what's the 65-year-old will enjoy, yes, free licenses now, yes. Free driver's license, yes. Yes.
I mean, I'll just catch in. So just to clear up, first question is just to clear up. been a lot of repackaging in this budget. Yet you noted that the government would have been better off if it had followed some of PPP's programs and projects.
Yeah.
So I can't see, just want a clarification there between the repackaging and still asking them to follow what was in place before. And you spoke about some ominous signs. Could you just point out, this is a scary thing to say, so could you just point out too so that I can
Okay,
note down?
sure,
One
yeah.
more thing, is there any measure at all in the budget that you can say it's good for the people of Canada?
Okay. So, one, let's talk about the repackaging issue. It is, you have a lot of the projects that we had in place to achieve a strategic objective. But the measures are very important too. A budget measure is very important. And it's in times of global crises, you have to have a national response through the budget. The budget framework that we left from the past cannot be the budget framework now, given what's happening globally and given what is taking place locally. We believe that the government's focus is on just doing the things that the PPP left, some of the things, and collecting more taxes and spending. We believe that there has not been enough focus on helping the sectors that generate wealth. And that is more important than anything else because it is what sustains medium and long-term growth. So whilst it does have a lot of our policy or projects that we had in place already, it does carry those. But there is absolutely no focus on stimulating the traditional sectors. Let me give you a few examples of what we did and what we would have done now in the rice industry. It will not cost the country a cent. If the Minister of Finance had said, I am going to direct the central bank to work with the commercial banks, give them the room to renegotiate loans for people in troubled industries, in the mining sector as well as the rice industry, who now have are at the risk of losing their homes, their tractors, their entire productive capacity because they fell on hardship. He could have announced a measure like that where they would have given the commercial banks the permission to do this and save large numbers of people from going into bankruptcy, from losing their productive assets, and would have kept them producing. So that would have been beneficial to the country. Secondly, he could have said, we are going to waive the lease fees for the miners, for up to small and medium scale miners. We're going to waive the lease fee for lands that they hold. And we are going to establish a sliding scale for the royalty payment for small and medium scale miners so that they can better adjust to the hardships they are faced with. He could have done the same thing for the rice farmers who are now working in the MMA schemes and other government schemes by reducing the lease. That would help people. I can go through a long list of these measures. You don't want me to. But that is what I meant. That is what I meant. Simple things may not cost the government that much in revenue, but could help the productive sectors of our economy. That would have helped the productive sectors of our economy. Could have extended, the private cane farmers are going to be faced with a lot of hardships. Could have extended some help to them from a tax perspective. That is not revenue from the Treasury. So this is what I meant. The ominous signs are about this return to command and control. An old policy, a policy from the past. So it is not just about passing